Hey there, Delver. Welcome to the Vaults of the Under-Earth. This video is going to serve as an introduction to this homebrewed Pathfinder 2nd Edition remastered game. Hopefully there's a lot of information in here that you'll find useful and entertaining and give you an idea of what you're in store for if you decide to sign up and join the fun. Let's get started. So the first thing here is the setting. What's the atmosphere of this game? What's going on? In the aftermath of the Voidwake, the series of cataclysmic events, the subterranean world that we call the vaults is lying in ruins. Refugees and survivors, they're seeking safety within the depths. The sprawling network of caverns, rifts, and tunnels that's filled with ancient secrets and awakened dangers. So I'm trying to tease you here, trying to get you thinking about, hey, what's this Voidwake? A survivor, refugee of what? What ancient secrets? What awakened dangers? What are you talking about? Plot. What's the story all about? It's a high stakes campaign. We're talking life or death, survival or destruction, that sort of thing. Your job is to unravel the mystery behind this void wake, this cosmic catastrophe that's tied to ancient arcane technologies and powerful entities. Insane Arcano-intelligences, imprisoned shuyookh lords, fanatical dragon cultists, and body-snatching aberrations, they're all vying for control. As the agents of these powers spread their influence through the survivors throughout the vaults, the players, you, must navigate a world that's been destabilized by the chaos and these otherworldly threats that are swelling around you. Where do you start? How does the game get going? You're a refugee. We're talking level zero, know nothing, just have your ancestry and background. You're traveling with a caravan deeper into the vaults. You're trying to escape these dangers that were unleashed by this void wake, which is in the vaults above you. You're trying to head down ever deeper. Below you, there's this rumored safety, some sanctuary in a place known as the Undercity. And however, this journey, it's going to take a few weeks and it's arduous, it's long, the resources are scarce. Luckily, though, there's stopovers along the path. There's safe havens like a place known as Gemheart, this geotic cavern that's sacred to the Orad people, one of the ancestries you can play, that lies just a few hours ahead. Your role as a PC, once you get past this refugee stage, based upon some events that are going to happen in the first session, is hero, right? You're a refugee, you're a survivor as you start, but you step up from this role and become someone that other people look to. You're leading, you're protecting this caravan and the other people. You're saving the world type of thing. Everybody has their own motivations, everybody has their own skills, of course. Guardians. You'll have a chance to become employed as a guard for this caravan, training and preparing yourself not just for the journey ahead, but also as you start to become more involved in the story to counter the machinations of what order and chaos are unleashing and clashing over around you. And last but not least, there's a heavy investigation component to the game. You'll be investigating, not investigator of the class. You can certainly play that, but everybody's going to have some sort of investigating that they're going to be involved in. You're to be discovering these secrets that are behind these relics that have appeared that are linked to the Void Wake itself, and they become more important to the game as other factions begin to seek them out for their own purposes, trying to influence the fate of the vaults, trying to involve the player characters in whatever they're up to. The tone of the story, you can probably tell, we're talking a grimdark fantasy world here. You can expect there's gonna be a lot of high adventure. You're gonna be going out and looking at, going to these other tunnels into the darkness, exploring, looking around. There's gonna be a lot of mysteries, a lot of, factions, a lot of politicking going on, a lot of people, get involved and why are they involved and what do they want? And then just sort of the horror of the game world, this potential aberrant threat, this cosmic horror as you're exploring around is getting more and greater and stronger. And you're going to be confronting ancient evils, navigating this world that's just teetering on the brink of destruction. And then your choices, the big thing I'm a fan of is to get the player's choices, they have to have meaning. So whatever you choose to do or not do will impact the story, will shape the story. And this starts at character creation and moving forward to each session. The world will react to what you do. Okay, it's going to react in a meaningful way. So you'll see the repercussions of your actions. So the big question you're left with at this point is, hey, do you want to be the light that shines in this dark world? Or will you just become snuffed by the shadows like so many more before you? If you're interested and want to play, I'm going to go ahead and give you some more details. There is a questionnaire you get to fill out, which I have a link in the description as well as on the website for Start Playing Games. But let's take a look at what's going on with the story itself. So when you join up, sign up, you start off with this opening scene. So I'm going to go ahead and share it with you so that you know kind of this tone idea that we're talking about. Pull this up. There we go. So in the Shadowed Expanse, this is, session one, right? You started your game, you got your character planned out, you rolled it up, you're ready to go. In the Shadowed Expanse of the level of the vaults known as the Warl, a tremulous murmur echoes through the winding tunnels, a symphony of fear and uncertainty. You're part of a swelling caravan of refugees, a mosaic of nearly 100 faces marked by the ravages of a world in upheaval. Above you, the cavernous ceiling looms, the upper slab, as the Orad call it, its craggy surface a silent testament to the ancient buried secrets of the earth. The air is thick with the scent of toiling sweat, intermingled with the metallic tang of apprehension. Shadows dance along the walls, cast by the strobing glow of luminescent fungi and the flickering of the sparse number of flame beetle lanterns. The caravan is more than a mere procession of the displaced. It is a moving tapestry of lives uprooted by the catastrophic Voidwake. Whispers ripple through the crowd, speaking of the slow, inexorable spread of the Vantasphere, a bubble of chaotic energy slowly, inexorably twisting reality in its path. Its presence, though left in the vault above, is a constant specter in the minds of all, a harbinger of a reality unraveling at its seams. More immediate, however, are the tales of tentacled horrors that now roam the tunnels of the vaults, their indiscriminate slaughter fueling palpable terror. The safety of the Great Grotto and the crawls, once assured by the soldiers and delvers, has been shattered by their aberrant presence and the catastrophic collapse of an enormous section of pedestal, plunging thousands of the city's inhabitants to their doom into the perilous ruins of Old Town below. Amidst this chaos, rumors abound of Ramb, the leader of the Seekers of the Darkwell, losing control of his cosmic machine, a device now believed to be fueling the anarchy consuming the vaults. They say he's a fugitive, pursued by his own creations, marbleized Orth, whose crystal flesh drinks the light, while his lieutenant, Pedestal's once fearsome mayor, the Jabali Shuyookh Darshik, has been slain by assassins in service to the enigmatic Dark Lady, a rising power in the apocryphal crypts. As the caravan winds its way through the well-worn passage toward the settlement of Gemheart, believed to be a haven from the encroaching madness, the earth suddenly shudders with a violent tremor. The walls groan, a cacophony of crumbling stone and crashing stalactites thunders down from the ceiling. Panic ignites as the way ahead collapses, crushing the caravan guards scouting the path, sealing with it any hope of a straightforward escape. The myriad threats unleashed by the Voidwake, believed to be growing more distant, suddenly feel close as a shadow in the choking dust and the claustrophobia of the blocked tunnel. After seeing to the dead and injured, which is minimal given the limited supplies, the caravan leader, a weathered Ganesio burrow warden named Haru, steps forward. His gem-like eyes, dulled by too many battles seen and losses suffered, scan the crowd that had looked to him for assurance since the caravan descended from what remained of Drop Point Spark Junction. His voice, firm despite the tragedy his men just suffered, cuts through the rising tide of despair. "We need volunteers," he declares. "Brave souls to head back down the tunnel and find us a way around the collapse. Our survival through these tunnels hinges on the courage of a few. Who will it be?" As Haru's words echo through the air, a sense of urgency ripples through the gathered as everyone looks about to see who would be brave or foolish enough to step forward. In the ensuing murmur, you catch snippets of conversation rising to the surface, painting a grim picture of the world you hope to survive. An elderly Oread woman, her voice trembling with fear, leans in close to a group huddled not 4 paces from you. "In Drop Point Despair, they say there's a construct gone mad, calling itself Nexus. Not just springs and gears, it's a thinking, scheming machine. Folks vanished and then returned. Some whisper they returned into someone else, something else. The same will happen to us if we stay here. One of you youngsters needs to step forward." A young spite-spawn man, childish eyes wide with terror, chimes in. It's not just here, ma'am. In Drop Point Hope, there's a darkness, a shadow that creeps into your very soul. They say it hungers for the living, feeds upon us. People go to sleep and never wake up. Or worse, they wake up changed, hollowed out, with eyes like empty pits. I'm not going out there, he says, pointing back down the main tunnel that disappears into utter blackness. A rugged miner, his shorn, droog face etched with soot and worry, adds his piece. And that's not the end of it. Drop Point Sentinel. It's fallen too. Overrun by a horde of verm led by a monstrosity. Seen it with me own eyes. A man rat big as Velik. Massive teeth and vile stench. With a screech so shrill flesh and bone were split. The camp guard couldn't hold back the swarm. It was a massacre. They could be the ones who triggered the cave-in to pin us in here. That was no natural tremor that brought down the ceiling. Best to stay here where we can defend ourselves. With each tale, the reality of the situation becomes starker. You realize these aren't just stories to frighten children. They are harrowing accounts of a world in chaos, where survival is a daily struggle against horrors, both seen and unseen. Haru, overhearing the accounts, nods solemnly. Good folk! These are dark times indeed, but we mustn't lose hope. By the true stone, we forge our own fate, one hammer swing at a time. I call again for volunteers. Who among you will step forward to blaze a path for the children and infirm? In this moment, as fear mingles with resolve, you realize the weight of the decision before you. To volunteer is to step into the unknown, to face the terrors of the vaults head on. But in the sea of worried faces and trembling hands around you, you also recognize a spark of determination, a desire to overcome, to survive, and to reclaim some semblance of the life that was once yours. To feel yourself stepping forward, you feel yourself stepping forward, your hand raised. Your reasons are, and that is then where that opening narrative would end on my part, and I would go around my table and ask PC Joe, your reasons are, and give you a chance to introduce your character and say what it is you are doing amongst this group of refugees. And to kind of go around the table. I wouldn't spend a lot of time here with what are you wearing and what are your likes and dislikes. It's just bang, why are you here? What's your motivation? What's going on with you? Okay. And immediately your PCs, hopefully, are the ones that step forward, agree, hey, we'll go and pursue back down the tunnel, try to find a way around this collapse. That's the first session. That's how it starts. That's where they become heroes. They experience something, not going to give any spoilers, and that something initiates the rest of the plot, the rest of the story, level one. All right, let's continue then. So, hey, if you're interested in the game, then what is this world? What's going on in here? So I'm going to take a tour of the vaults themselves, a little gazette for new delvers such as yourselves out there. What is this world? The image here kind of gives you the idea. It's this pancake stack of caverns from the upper vault known as the Great Grotto down to the depths known as the deeps, duh. And there's a bunch of these voids, a bunch of these pockets, a bunch of these caverns that are places that you can delve ever deeper. And similar to old school kind of dungeon, the deeper you go, the more dangerous it gets. So the game starts not at the very tippy top. The very tippy top is where some of these disasters have happened. So let's go ahead and take a look at a lot of the locations that you will need to be familiar with if you're playing in the game, and all the different history and tales that are being told by these people in this crowd around you. So you got the Great Grotto. This is at the pinnacle of the vaults lies the Great Grotto, a vast subterranean cavern dominated by the Dark Lake. This vast body of water reflects the dim bioluminescent lights of Pedestal, the largest city and hub of activity, where diverse races, traders, and adventurers converge. Towering above the grotto are the chimneys, colossal stalactites inhabited by and this is the one of my homebrewed ancestries, the Shea de Yellen, and other creepy crawlies create a mysterious and eerie skyline. So this is the main city of the game world. However, you're never going to go there. This is a backdrop because a huge chunk of the city has collapsed down through its vault into the one below it. Thousands of people plunging to their deaths, you presume. uh, caused by this Vontosphere, which is triggered as part of the Voidwake. The crawls is part of where the pedestal dropped into. So directly beneath the Great Grotto is the crawls, this labyrinthine network of collapsed buildings and fractured streets. The uppermost part, Old Town, contains the ruins of Tal Tabila, the draconic founding city. This area served as a refuge for those escaping the tyranny of the Seekers of the Darkwood cult in Pedestal. Pedestal had recently been taken over by this cult, the Seekers of the Darkwell, who their leader was this Rom character that was mentioned, and this machine that he was firing up, and his lieutenant was this Darshik, who was ruling the city with an iron fist, having the Droog of the Black Hammer faction as his military wing. Anyway, further down beneath this old town is Reek Run, a series of sewage-choked tunnels and aqueducts, while the apocryphal crypts hold the haunted ruins of Ilaluk, a once holy city now filled with the restless spirits of dead Wormseed. Wormseed are the draconic children of the Leviathans. The Warl. Beneath the crawls, the Warl Vault is a twisting maze of tunnels, home to various settlements founded for cultural and religious reasons. Gemheart, a sacred site for the Orad, is a geode-like cavern filled with divine crystalline formations. This is the initial destination for the caravan. So the game is starting in the Warl. The crawls and the Great Grotto above you are off limits currently because that's where all the really bad stuff is happening right now. Nightward, a Caligny stronghold, is a haven of darkness, and Loom's Reach, a weavling village, is suspended above a vast chasm, connected by spider silk bridges and trusses. The Undercity. Below the Warl lies the ruins of the Undercity, Seventh Yi, once the multi-spired capital of the Terra Leviathan Kingdom. This ruined draconic city is extremely dangerous and difficult to delve, but rumored to contain untold riches and ancient magic. Perfect little tease to get characters, wanted to go adventure there. A budding refugee community attempts to reclaim the city. This is your destination after Gemheart. You're supposed to be going to the Undercity to join this budding refugee community. And then if and when you get there, you'll then have this city itself to go ahead and explore. Trying to build a safe haven in the upper reaches of this cavern that overlooks the city. This is the ultimate destination for the caravan, including the player characters. The worm tubes. Connecting Seventh Yi to the depths below are the worm tubes, massive vertical and corkscrewed shafts said to have been burrowed by the great Gug, so the giant worms beneath the earth that have burrowed out all these hollow caverns and such. These treacherous ascents are physically demanding climbs and prowled by all manner of flying and climbing creatures that move like shadows. So very, pretty straightforward as far as design goes, but extremely dangerous because you're, climbing down this whole way. The necropolis. Further in the depths lies Iltkazar, the once mighty fortress city and capital of the dwarven Duran Empire, which used to sit on the surface, now a necropolis haunted by the restless spirits of the dead. Swallowed by the earth after the dragon's hammer fell on the surface, the crumbling remains are a tomb filled with the rusting bones of its former technological glory, and the dangers of the jealousy that spurred the fratricidal dark tide. The Syrian Sea. Below Iltkazar is the Syrian Sea, a vault of molten rock inhabited by the Naari Munsahir and fireborn Velux, and their cities floating atop the magma. A couple of those ancestries are Pathfinder specific. One of them, the Veluk, is my own homebrewed ancestry. This realm of eternal flame, formed by its proximity to the brilliance of the luminar nexus, is a harsh and inhospitable environment where only the resilient can survive. Its rivers of lava and searing heat create a stunning yet deadly landscape. And then the deepest place, of course, the deeps. At the lowest explored level lies not a vault, but a region of utter darkness, simply called the deeps. Domain of the Ghoul Imperium, home to the Dark Ghoul and countless other undead species, this abyssal region is hostile to anything living. Only one of its only known vaults, the irradiated desert of black sand, serves as the last barrier between the savage imperial ghouls and the civilized vaults of the living above. The deeps are a place of darkness and despair, where the air is thick with malevolent energy and the shadows hide horrors beyond imagination. So this is the setting of the game world. You're only going to start in one of these locations, of course, but it gives the scope and the vastness of the world that is potentially explorable. Again, depending on what the players do and how they proceed. All right, now, hey, what are some options you have for playing? Like, hey, it sounds cool. I like this concept. I like the world. What can I play? I'm ready to go and roll up an elf or something like that. Well, here's where you want to pause because if you look at joining the game, you have to play one of the specific ancestries that is connected to this game world. Surface type of people are not going to be down here. So let's dive into these homebrews that I've got for you. The Caligni. The Caligni are the shadowy descendants of the Zoroastari, once powerful human wizards who fled deep underground to escape their collapsing empire. Their refuge, Deep Zoroastar, was hidden in the fell dimension of Adumbra, where the Zoroastari were transformed by the pervasive darkness, becoming part shadow themselves. Today, Calignis are known for their monochrome complexions, near black eyes, and supernatural shadows. They are deathly allergic to light, living in the dark recesses of the vaults. As a people, they are cautious and insular, forming tight-knit communities or traveling in pairs to ensure mutual survival. Despite their grim origins, Calignis are resilient and adaptable, serving as skilled merchant scouts and masters of shadow magic. Their society is hierarchical, often governed by their tallest members, and they have a unique connection to the umbral plane. If you seek a character that thrives in darkness, harnesses shadowy powers, and embodies the duality of light and dark, the Caligni ancestry offers a rich and mysterious path for your adventures in the vaults. Now, a lot of these homebrews are Pathfinder based, but I've of course given them their own mechanics that don't exist in the current Pathfinder stuff. So some of this will not 100% match up with something you'd read in a Pathfinder product. Next one. The Droog. Droog were once part of the greater race of dwarves, but after a devastating civil war, they became an isolated ancestry deep beneath the surface. Renowned for their exceptional craftsmanship and practical survival skills, Droog Society is built on a rigid caste system and strong clan loyalty. They are highly suspicious of outsiders, but fiercely loyal to those they accept as allies. With a culture emphasizing production and utility, Droog are adept at navigating the harsh subterranean environment with their dark vision and its crafting prowess. Though often viewed with suspicion due to their secretive nature, Droog bring unique perspectives and valuable skills to any adventuring party, making them formidable allies and opponents. If you seek a character defined by practicality, loyalty, and a strict sense of order and tradition, the Droog ancestry offers a rich and compelling choice for your adventures in the vaults. Gnitio. The Gnitio, descended from surface gnomes, have adapted to life deep within the vaults, becoming beings of stone and crystal. Drawn to the heart of the world by their innate curiosity, they transform into resilient gem-infused creatures who thrive in the darkness. Their society reflects their Fey origins, blending practicality with creativity as they craft light from minerals and carve tunnels with precision. Living in the depths has forged a strong bond between the Gnitio and the earth, leading to alliances with elementals and mastery of arcane arts. They are known for their intricate jewelry, ingenious mechanical creations, and ability to navigate the subterranean maze. Embracing the Stoneworld Code, Ganesio value craftsmanship, community, and innovation, seeing themselves as beacons in the deep. If you seek a character that embodies the beauty and resilience of gems with a knack for blending tradition and investigation, the Ganesio ancestry offers a unique and luminous path for your adventures in the vaults. All right, next one. The Morshaiel. The Morshaiel are a tragic and mysterious fey-blooded people, originally moon elves who were transformed by exposure to the dark energies of the vaults. Stranded far below the surface after a disastrous maelstrom, they have become beings of ebony skin, white hair, and violet eyes, with an eerie beauty and a deep connection to eldritch powers. Once seeking to return to the surface, their failed attempts led them to ally with the Seekers of the Dark Well and eventually settle on Ricarian Isle. Here, they plot their revenge and survival, aided by militant myconids, that should be mycoloids, and their mastery of flesh warping. Morel Society is a strict matriarchy, valuing secrecy, manipulation, and survival above all. If you seek a character with a tragic history, mysterious powers, and a penchant for political intrigue, the Morshaiel ancestry offers a rich and darkly fascinating path for your adventures in the vaults. Orad. The Orad are a powerful and ancient race with a profound connection to the earth, embodying the strength and stability of stone. Known for their stoic nature and deep sense of duty, they value personal honor and loyalty to their kin above all. Their appearance reflects their elemental heritage with skin that can resemble stone, metal, or crystal. and eyes that shine like gemstones. Living primarily near ore and mineral laden geological sites, Oriads are skilled in mining, crafting, and various earth based professions. Their society is communal, prioritizing in the well being of their community and often engaging in introspective and contemplative activities. They tend to uphold structured order, showing unwavering resolve in their commitments. If you seek a character that embodies the unyielding strength and serene beauty of the earth, with a contemplative nature and a strong personal code of honor, the Oriad ancestry offers a rich and steadfast path for your adventures in the vaults. Spite Spawn. Spite Spawn are the tragic and unwanted offspring of Morshael and corrupt Div, born into a world that despises and rejects them. Abandoned at birth and often left to die, those who survive do so through sheer will and determination, growing up in hiding and scrounging for survival. Their appearance, marked by rocky blotches, earthy skin pigmentation, and crystalline horns, hints at their cursed heritage. Spitespawn who reach adulthood often turn to a life of crime, mercenary work, or other shadowy professions, finding solace in causing the mighty to fall. Despite their tough exterior, they struggle with self loathing and a deep seated desire for acceptance and purpose. If you seek a character with a troubled past, driven by a need for vengeance or redemption, the Spitespawn ancestry offers a dark and compelling path for your adventures in the vaults. Wormseed. Facet Wormseed are the descendants of majestic Terra Leviathans, bearing the legacy of a once great civilization now shattered by cataclysm and betrayal. Known for their towering stature, gemstone like scales, and powerful psionic abilities, they embody the resilience and grandeur of their ancestors. Their society, once a beacon of culture and enlightenment, now struggles under oppression, yet they cling to their heritage and the hope of revival. Facet Wormseed are driven by a deep seated yearning to restore their lost glory, practicing secret traditions and upholding the honor of their draconic forebears. If you seek a character with a majestic heritage, unyielding resilience, and a powerful connection to the earth and its secrets, the Facet Wormseed ancestry offers a rich and evocative path for your adventures in the vaults. Yara. This is the last of the common ancestries that are available to any player. The Yara, related to dwarves, are a shrewd and often devious people known for their incredible intelligence and unsettling behavior. Exposure to toxic brain enhancing mold and sensory deprivation rituals have driven many Yara to the brink of madness. These small, wiry beings are resilient, cunning fighters and strategists, valued for their resistance to toxins and mental assaults. Despite their twisted appearance and aberrant influences, Yara possess a fierce loyalty to their allies and a unique perspective on the world, making them powerful and unpredictable companions. If you seek a character with a troubled past, an unhealthy obsession with the occult, and a knack for survival, the Yara ancestry offers a dark and intriguing path for your adventures in the vaults. All right, the next group is going to be the uncommon ancestries, which would require DM or GM permission. So let's take a look at the list here. The Ignaruk. The Ignaruk are a formidable breed of orcs forged in the infernal fires of hell after being betrayed by their allies and falling into a fiery chasm. They are descendants of the fierce Deathmaw tribe, transformed by centuries of exposure to the harsh volcanic environment of Avernus. With skin blackened and cracked like basalt and blood veined with fire, Ignaruk embody resilience and ferocity. They are staunch worshippers of Volculus, the one-eyed lord of Earth, and their return to the vaults is driven by a divine mandate to destroy their enemies and reclaim their lost glory. As marauders and warriors, they give no quarter, slaying without mercy, and bearing a strong connection to their ancestors and the elements of earth and fire. If you seek a character marked by spirituality, a deep seated sense of duty, and the raw power of volcanic might, the Ignaruk offer a path of fearsome prowess and unwavering faith. Mycoloids. Mycoloids are sapient fungal humanoids deeply connected to the balance between life and death, originating from the forested world of, I think it's Sedan Dorsia. Uh, they thrive in dark, moist environments, avoiding light which can kill them. Mycoloids form tight knit telepathic communities, relying on spores to form symbiotic relationships with one another and their environment. They serve as caretakers of the ecosystem, decomposing organic matter for sustenance and to fuel new growth. Despite their peaceful nature, recent threats to nature's balance have led to the emergence of militant buds from the collective. Mycoloids possess a unique physiology, including mycorrhizal connections and bioluminescence, and their society emphasizes harmony, balance, and a deep reverence for their primordial deity, the Arau Mycos. If you seek a character with profound connection to nature spore-based abilities and a communal mindset, consider playing a mycoloid. Orth. Orth are sentient crystal beings formed from fragments of the ancient gate of Aetheratus, which once protected the cosmos from the alien horrors of the Patala. Each Orth is animated by psionic energy and driven by a racial memory to either rebuild the shattered gate or thwart the Patala's influences. As beings of pure thought given physical form, Orth do not eat, drink, or breathe, and instead require rest to replenish their energy. Their society values discipline, logic, and order, with their ultimate purpose being the restoration of the gate. Orth are unique, each carrying the consciousness of their predecessors, and they may seem detached or aloof due to their singular focus on their cosmic mission. Despite their ancient wisdom, Orth often struggle to understand the transient nature of the world around them. If you seek to play a character with a profound sense of purpose, an ancient heritage, and a focus on psionic and physical abilities, consider playing an Orth. The Zolgath. Once a noble worm seed, Zolgath were transformed into reptilian savage beings by a catastrophic warpstone bomb during the War of Maul and Talon. Their homeland, once a lush vault of draconic grandeur under Sebsarkib the Ruby Leviathan, became the desert of black sands. Surviving Wormseed adapted to the toxic irradiated environment, developing blistered scales to absorb warp fire and secrete a noxious oil. The society, now shaped by ancestor worship and the harsh demands of their environment, reveres bones and constructs effigies to honor their past. They compete fiercely with Formians for resources and face the influence of fiendish forces from the abyss. Solgath embody a brutal resilience and yearning to restore their lost glory. If you want to play a character with a tragic history, survival instincts, and a complex relationship with their origins, consider playing a Zolgath. All right, these next ones, I think there's three more, are the rare ancestry. So these are under only extreme circumstances would these be allowed for a player to play them. That'd be a really good reason here. This is the Shad Yellen I was talking about a little bit earlier. Humanoids with leathery wings, matted fur, and piercing fangs. The Shad Yellen resemble giant bats and are often met with fear and suspicion by others. However, among their own kind, their appearance is beautifully functional. They excel in darting flight, using their dark coloration to ward off predators, and their silent shrieks and sharp teeth to extract nourishment from tough sources. Despite their fearsome reputations, Shad Yellen prefer to avoid conflict and are naturally curious about the world beneath them, though they feel vulnerable away from their colonies. They live most comfortably in the darkness, often sleeping upside down and collecting shiny objects. If you feel a kinship with the shadows and crave the thrill of the hunt, a Shea de Yellen might be the character for you. But beware, the darkness can be all consuming, and the call of your colony may be stronger than any individual desire. That kind of gives you a hint of why they would be rare, because you are sort of at the beck and call of the colony and other reasons, which I don't have time to get into right now. Tinkertons. Tinkerton are the ancient constructs created by the Duran Empire, a once great dwarven civilization known for its engineering marvels. Iltkazara, down in the necropolis, that is their city, their citadel. That's where these things get their origin from, and again, a reason why they're so rare. These clockwork beings, powered by elementally infused heart cores, were originally designed to serve as part of the Brazen Army. When the Empire fell, Tinkerton continued to survive, seeking purpose in a changed world. Living centuries beyond their creators, they possess a unique blend of magical engineering and ancient wisdom. Their mechanical bodies require winding and venting, but grant them resilience and endurance. Tinkerton are often seen with awe and curiosity by others as relics of a lost age. Adventuring offers them a chance to rediscover their past and find new meaning in their existence. If you want to play a character who is a living construct with powerful potential and ties to an ancient lost civilization, you should play a Tinkerton. And last but not least, we have the Weaveling. Weavelings are agile spider like humanoids with an intricate history woven between divine and fey influences. Created through flesh warping alchemy by the Morshael and the divine power of Payenka, the wandering spider, Weavelings emerged as a distinct race in the vaults. These beings possess a unique blend of elven grace and arachnid strength, resulting in an appearance that can be both captivating and fearsome. Weavelings live in webbed communities high in the cavern ceilings, utilizing their silk spinning abilities for construction and defense. They navigate the tensions between their horrific creation, their reverence for Payenka, and their desire for autonomy. If you seek to embody the grace and mystery of a creature born from divine intrigue and eldritch experimentation, then you should play a Weaveling. There's just very few of these creatures in the game world given their origins, and those that do exist are in these isolated communities. So for one of them to just be strolling down the street somewhere would be rare. All right, so there you go. That is the tip of the iceberg, pretty much. That is what is available, both ancestry wise for characters, as well as the locations within the game world that have practical meaning, historical meaning, that sort of thing. So if you're ready and you want to join us on this epic journey into these vaults, the stuff that you're seeing and hearing looks pretty cool, and you want to get involved, then you're going to go ahead and fill out that questionnaire, send that in. I'll take a look at it, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and we'll get you seated at the table with the rest of us. Have yourselves a good one, and take care.